They are just
recording now.
digging that grave
Like,
barehanded.
I agree. Like, Wizard of the Coast of Police. All right, so let's see over here. Let's start with the rumor, because the rumor was D&D. What is it? Dungeons and Dragons Realm or whatever. D&D Beyond. All right, so D&D Beyond Game Rant. I like Game Rant a little bit. They do some of my favorite old school videos. But anyways, I pulled this up, and right here is just talking about how, like, we knew that there was rumors that they're going to start charging a subscription for D&D content. And
I
what
see
is
where they're coming from.
Yeah, I get it too. Like,
It's once you buy a book, you don't technically need them anymore. And because they just suck at settings now, they used to make supplementary money between editions off of settings. That's where Dragonlance and fucking Forgotten
this is
Realms,
my problem.
Planescape, all that.
Right
Yeah,
here,
homebrew.
that's
Yep.
my issue. They're banning homebrew in low tiers because you're poor. When the reason why homebrew exists is because some people just can't afford all that shit, or they just don't want to be, they just want to be creative. I don't like that shit. Like, you can't afford $30 a month. You're the highest tier. Oh, it's highest tier, but still, like, I wasn't able to start buying subscriptions until I was like fucking 18. You know, and there's a lot of young people that play D&D. But I think this is a bad call though, because the fact that they're throwing this out there, and then just all their restrictions and requirements. Obviously, we've seen it piss everyone off. Like, even though I don't know why they're not including that one guy. Oh, we'll get to that article. I don't know why Game Rant, as of 2 days ago, didn't talk about the Wizards of the Coast employee, talking shit. But I thought it was kind of weird. I wanted to bring this specific article up because it's very recent compared to the other ones I Googled. And it doesn't include that they're saying the players are just obstacles for money. But we'll get into that. That's the rumor, obviously. You're going to be paying a subscription fee for D&D content, but it's streamlined. There's just going to be a lot of restrictions, and a lot of there's going to be a lot of people on YouTube, content creator wise, are fucked. Like, because a lot of them are homebrews. And
Most people, well, they don't have any good settings anymore.
yeah,
All their settings are shit, or they're rehashes of the old stuff that everyone's sick of.
I was told D&D
Settings were
is
used to be.
D&D is tabletop Destiny, and when they mean by that, they mean they add a whole bunch of amazing Destiny 2. They add a whole bunch of great content, but then they just start fucking rehashing and cutting just cutting the fat, so if you will, to try to make it more streamlined.
Well, have you heard of the D&D setting Eberron?
No, you remember I'm retarded and new.
So Eberron came out with somewhere, it was either with 3.5 or around 3.5, but it was a setting that was created by a character that Wizards of the Coast bought out and made his home, like my Perennia. It
Yeah.
would be, Watsy would approach me, and I have, this will never happen to me, but they approached him and they said, hey, we'll give you this amount of money. We want to buy your setting and make it the main setting of our own game.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Baron was actually made by a character or by a player back in the day. So they're shooting themselves in the foot from maybe getting the next best setting by killing homebrew.
I would agree. Killing homebrew, like, well, I see. I wasn't even like thinking just about the people playing core content that rely on it. I was like thinking about the broader internet creation. Like, just like what we do, people like us. Even though, like, even people that just hit a fucking record button, record their session, and upload. A lot of it is homebrewed for YouTube, for content. For viewers and shit. And
But what can they do? If we just change it to role play talk, and I don't say the word D&D, you can still talk about everything. I can
fuck
just
it.
call it
Oh, I know.
3.5.
Well, really, we barely even. The only time D&D's ever mentioned is when I'm rehashing what we are, or what we
Yep.
do. That's the only time
Yep.
D&D's mentioned. I could literally replace it with fucking Warhammer 40K or fucking Bag of Dicks, and people are going to know what we're talking about, which is good. But all right, so
I think anyone could do that, really. That's my point. Like, it's not just us. Like, anybody that talks about D&D, they can just change it from the language of Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons. They just say role play, and rather than say Dungeons and Dragons X edition, they just say fifth or sixth.
I
They
I
cannot
I feel
copyright
bad
those
for like
terms.
Critical Role type people though, because their whole identity lies within the universe of D&D. And yeah, they could replace it, but I feel like those types of people, since they have like a young, or most of their audience is fucking retarded. So what's going to happen is like they're the type of people where like the content gets changed slightly, they don't like it, it's not familiar, they find someone else doing the same exact thing, but saying the names they actually want to hear. But right
I
here's
know.
there. I'm
If
pretty much calling viewers stupid.
no, if uh, it aggravates me, this whole decision. It just seems to kill all creativity. But if this critical role was any good, they'd be able to change things in such a way to keep going.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be hampered so much in a game about an imagination by a fucking company that just owns a rule set. Critical Role should be make their own rule set. Like the D20 is not something that could be kept. If you don't want to use a D20, make your own dice. Make a fucking 30-sided dice. Like do something different or use a gimmick dice like they use for Fantasy Flight games.
but see, and the reason why I say a lot of just people are just stupid is because they go for what's in front of them, they go for what's familiar. But I was seeing on Twitter when this was announced, like a lot of the people were freaking out. They're more so than I've ever seen any of the YouTubers themselves or Critical Role, those types of companies. I haven't seen any of them actually freak out, but I'm like just all the people that view them, they're big fans, people that got known for being supporters of, you know what I mean, like clout chasing
Yeah,
fans. They're the
I
ones
think it's
spurting out, and it's a big issue, but it's not like it's not going to be take up arms, grab a gun, and get ready for war type of issue. But that's how it's being portrayed. So it's funny. People are stupid. Sorry, I'm just irritated at Twitter, just seeing other responses.
see. I
No
think
offense
it's
if you're a
bigger.
fan of Critical Role. I'm just angry at the Twitter retards. I should say not the viewers, the retards on Twitter. There we go. Sorry, people.
I think. Fuck.
But I got the D&D Beyond subscription page just to see how they're doing it. But do you remember what you were going to say?
Yeah, I think that because people put a little bit of themselves in their D&D characters every time they make one, the game is more personal to them on some levels.
I've seen
So
people
I think that's
cry
why the
over one
reaction is so
shots.
strong. Yeah, I think it hits closer to home because it's your character. You will call it your character and you will do everything with your character. So it becomes a part of you whether you want it to or not. So now they're attacking people's escape, essentially. They're
Mm-hmm.
saying you can't even talk about your escape unless you pay us some fucking money, which is bullshit. It's your imagination. You shouldn't have a price tag on it. Just provide a rule set, spend your goddamn money on new settings, and shut the fuck up, Wizards of the Coast. That's all you have to do, and they'll make money.
If they want to make more money, they should focus on the tech. They should focus on actually making good games. Like that D&D Dark Alliance is pretty good, but it's like 40K's Riptide, or what is it? Not Riptide, Dark
Sorry?
Tide. It's
Oh,
no,
Dark,
I was
yeah.
talking about D&D. If they focus on their tech, like Wizards of the Coast focuses on the tech, focuses on the the video
But this
games,
is
the cartoons, they don't have to worry about making their tabletop content subscription based because they're making the content that they are going to spend a lot more money on than a book once every 5, 6, 7 years when a new, you know what I mean, when a new edition comes out. They can make more money off of media, like doing fucking like their own, like Wizards of the Coast does D&D. They can release a Patreon and they can get $30 a month that way. Like, it should be supplemental content, not like the core content that they're charging. Charging
well,
access for.
they're doing DLCs. If you want to put a fucking label on it, they could go the DLC route,
But
and that's what D&D has always
yeah,
been.
they're
What do you think
supplying
a fucking
but they're
module
supplying the
is? They used to
DLC
call
to
them
run.
modules.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
just
bought
saying.
mods.
I'm just saying they should focus on the DLC in like other forms of media instead of just text tabletop. But right here's the first two basic subscriptions. We seen there was a $30 one. It looked like, according to the rumor. But the first one, this is the basic. Create unlimited characters, add publicly shared homebrew content. All right, so what was that rumor that shit was banned?
Well, it might not be implemented yet. Isn't this all rumor stuff? They haven't actually
This
changed
is
it yet?
D&D Beyond actual subscription website. Like this is their actual what they're pushing.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe this stuff they've talked about they haven't implemented
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah. Well, I actually also have their complete subscription plan right here on their support page. So I actually dug a little bit to get like what's going to be implemented. But right here is their little program. I like software. I really do appreciate that they're doing this. It kind of looks like Elder Scrolls Online UI though, and never. It looks like Elder Scrolls Online and Neverwinter Nights UI mixed together. Neverwinter Night. Wait, yeah, Neverwinter Online, not Nights. I'm retarded. But right here, you create unlimited characters for Hero and Master. We don't know how many other levels they're going to add, and if those are going to be the final levels, because you pretty much get everything except for the fact you can share unlocked content with other players. So if you have a better package, you can share. Fuck. See, I don't get. Well, we'll get into that. There's a program. Play with exclusive monthly perks. See, monetizing perks for a program is what they're really doing is paying for game mechanics. You're paying access for something you've had before, but now they're unlocking it in a program. See, you don't need to download the fucking program because you know what? At the same time, I feel like they should implement this because the book pirating, all the pirating, 3D printing is going to shoot up. Neckbeardia, they do 3D printed D&D models. Go to them, buy some. You know, get their fucking homebrew stuff. I would just say let this get implemented and then just leave D&D and just focus on pirating everything on the internet, D&D related, because it's going to kill the company if they do it that way. But anyways, you receive perks like free digital dice. That's so fucking stupid. You're paying for NFTs. You're paying for D&D NFTs right here. You're paying for digital dice. Something that's going to cost probably 5 times more than actual dice. And for portrait frames, shit, Steam doesn't even charge you money for your avatar frames.
They want to be profitable so bad it hurts.
See, you're right. Okay, so it's not even DLC. This is paying to access all the mechanics to play online. If you doubt, this is like fucking ransomware. If you get this, this is ransomware. You gotta pay. It's what it is. They're holding all the functions hostage until you pay for the right package. That's ransomware. You download the program, it stays on your computer. Oh god, people are gonna be so fucking pissed. I called it ransomware. Gain early access to game.
Your take,
See,
man.
what the fuck? What? This is worse than I thought. You're paying to play D&D. Not the fact that you could play D&D, but you're getting like online features. It's no, you gotta pay to even log in. You get a combat tracker. Who gives a fuck about your stats? This is not an MMO. You cannot get anything out of showing, oh, my character killed 500 people. What about you? Oh, I killed 3 and then I got butt fucked by a bard and died. Like,
terrible way to go.
Yeah, this is not Call of Duty. What was that? Modern Warfare 3? Fuck. I remember Call of Duty released like some kind of battle pass where it tracked all your stats and your map, like heat maps where you went, got killed, where you ran. They're gonna fucking do that for a tabletop game where half the people don't even keep track of this shit because it's too much. That's not the data you want to focus on. You know, we're not fighting a computer AI here, so you got to keep track of your stats. Well, your combat tracker, dice roller, game log. I mean, you can just play Elder Scrolls Online if you want a game log, or if you want a dice roller, we'll go to rolldice.com. So you use homebrew content in your games. Oh yeah, you pay to access shit that you didn't even need to pay us for in the first place. Wait.
Weed just costs us weed and liquor. That's the only cost.
Look, you can pay to use a fucking weapon someone else made when you could just make it yourself. This whole thing is just countered the second you can counter everything they throw out here. Share purchase books with your friends, torrent them, and people already share them anyways. They don't need to pay to share them. This is so crazy. They're holding your own property ransom to use. That's fucking great. All right. So this is their support. Well, I need to pay a subscription to play D&D Beyond. But it's a subscription is not required to use D&D Beyond. But as we've seen, it is to use and play the game. Like, you could probably log in D&D Beyond and make a character, but you need to pay to make more than one character and to do anything other than log in. See, the hero tier is intended primarily for players. It removes ads on the site, allows players to create an unlimited number of characters, and adds publicly shared homebrew content to your collection to use within the toolset. It's cool
Yeah,
that
those are the two things.
it's cool that they're turning it into like a more online, like they're turning it to a more MMO thing. Really, like it's one step away from being a browser MMO essentially with digital dice. But they turn it all into NFTs by saying, "Hey, you gotta pay. You gotta pay to use it. You get this. It's exclusive to you." This is fucking. Haven't we not learned with what happened with NFTs the past 2 years? Anybody still hoping NFTs are coming about are being made fun of by everybody online, and this is just one step removed from that. But Master Tier, hey, if you pay $5.99, you can share content you got. It allows the DM to share all her unlocked official content with other players within a campaign, so content does not have to be unlocked by every player. Alright, you're a DM. So, does the Master Tier benefit you at all?
Find this whole concept abhorrent. I don't see why you just couldn't fucking do Roll20, roll dice on camera through Discord, any other fucking means besides
Roll20 was
using these
falling out of
methods.
popularity. This is going to raise it back up to the top.
Or I've seen my one buddy, he uses Tabletop Simulator too.
Oh,
The point is,
that's
you
huge.
shouldn't have to pay a monthly fee to play a game with your imagination.
Yeah.
They're holding your imagination hostage.
They're masticating our imagination. They're chewing on our imagination. Hey, you were close. You almost made a really good word
That's
there.
some bubble hash, and it's kind of fucking with my head. My bad.
Instead of sharing your homebrew crossbow with a player for $5 a month, you almost created a cool word.
I guess so.
All right, how can I find out about more? Wait, hold on. Are there plans to make plugins? No. Oh, okay, that's multilingual. I thought it was talking about like, is there plans to add plugins or some shit? But we read everything we need to know. D&D store.
Didn't you want to keep these things short too?
Yeah. Well, we're at. I don't want to go past 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I knew there'd be a time limit. That's all.
All right. So here is their actual breakdown of the prices on. This is their support website, people. Wizards.com. Not the porn wizards, but D&D wizards. So your free tier, you get a limit of. I'm just talking shit. Limit of 6 characters. Access to live site tools, whatever that means. I'm on a live site using their support tools. What does that mean?
So it probably means looking at a map, or maybe they have some way to reference rules.
Probably. But you can create homebrew for private use, which means only you can create it, and you can like fuck with the stats, roll the dice, and say, "Oh, this would be so cool to share with people." Too bad I can only take a picture and post it on Twitter saying I own it technically. Create up to 8. They say this is what I was saying. The free tier is going to be you can log in, but all you're doing is logging in. And then the $3.99 tier, $2.99, my bad. You can use public homebrew, but you can't create anything. For $5.99, that allows you to create shit, and you can use everything the free people do. Create unlimited characters, Bo. And then share unlocked official content with others for up to 5 campaigns, which means they're going to make more tiers to unlock more campaigns, or they're going to say, hey, for an extra $5 a month, you can get an extra 15 campaigns with your 5. They're going to turn it into.
You need more than one campaign.
I don't fucking know, because you do one campaign, you delete that, and then start a new one.
Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe there's a paid DM, but if you're a paid DM, then this probably makes sense. If you want to make I can't imagine doing this for a living, but I'm sure that someone would want to, and I could see it. But that's so neat.
You can't even play a free tier, by the way. It says unlimited campaigns. You only have 8 encounters. It's not even a fucking campaign, so you can only fight 8 times with their shitty. Dude, there is websites that do D&D, like a text-based browser game, like old 2008 Mafia Wars on Facebook. There's D&D versions of that that do this what they're trying to do better. Just terrible UIs. But goddamn, fuck D&D. Or Wizards of the Coast, not D&D. Wizards of the Coast. We need to keep our enemies with a name. But shit, product keys. What does this mean? Oh, so you can buy a key. So therefore, someone's going to create a program where we can unlock shit. Someone's going to crack D&D Beyond. If someone cracks it, I will go live. I will download the crack and I'll crack D&D Beyond on stream for Underdorks. If this goes through, and I get a key, like I can get someone to make a program to generate keys. You know what I mean? I would do that. That's all I want to talk about. We needed to talk about this. More people are talking about it, but we can't let them have it easy.
Pretty satisfying to see someone shoot themselves in the foot so bad, though, and then just absolutely screw it up. They're like Cog. They're like Cog if he was a fucking company.
That's fucking hilarious. No one's going to know that reference other than like 4 people.
Yeah, you do. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, shit. You got anything else to add to this? What are your final thoughts as a DM about D&D Beyond? Do you care? Does it bother you? Is it going to affect anything that we do?
I look at it from my own perspective, of course, but I do understand another person's perspective. The number one thing I hear is, I played D&D, but I had no one to play with. I had no one to play with, and I don't know how to be a DM. So I see what they're doing. They're trying to fill a void. They're just doing it so badly. Like, fucking hell.
Not even
I also
MMOs do it this
understand that they're
bad.
doing this for another reason. They've said it themselves, and I don't see too many people picking up on this. But they said themselves, they gave it away. They want to lock down everything they own because they want to go bigger. GW did the same thing by prosecuting anyone who went after Space Marine because they wanted to go bigger. They wanted to own everything to do with it so that whenever something was made, like video game licensing, they want to whore themselves out.
Yeah.
In order to whore themselves out, they need to own everything. So this is just another example of corporations trying to own ideas. They're trying to own our imaginations. It's unreal to me. Do we have to fucking pay them to think about D&D soon enough? Like, where's the line? So I'm satisfied to see that, even though I had to go to Reddit and I feel dirty for it, but went to Reddit and I read that article that you sent me, and it's satisfying to see people are canceling their
Oh yeah, we
subscriptions.
got one last thing to talk about, and that's what the fucking employee said. Luckily, I grabbed the thread that was made, like right after it was said, and not the thread leading up to what the guy said. But it says right here, as we suspected, the everyday people at Wizard of the Coast hate the current D&D OGL situation. The full email can be viewed here. But TLDR, Wizard of the Coast sees the community not as people, but obstruction to their money, while also keeping their own employees in the dark about upcoming changes. That is what I wanted to point out, because that is this just, instead of showing that they want to help players, they're just doing this they're following what MMO, like shitty MMOs that don't exist after a year do, and that's monetized terribly before they implement anything worth using by by putting in their money, get rich quick. It shoots himself in the foot and they lose more money in the end. But let's pull up the email real quick. Oh shit. Okay, I'm not logged in, thank God. Right here. Hi, I'm an employee at Wizards of the Coast, currently working on D&D Beyond and with D&D business leaders on the health of product line. If you want, I can provide proof of this. I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of the community I love, and I know what the leaders at Wizards of the Coast are looking at. They are briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. Their decision making is based entirely on the provable impact to their bottom line. Specifically, they are looking at DDB subscriptions and cancellations as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. See, they're going for quick financial data. No one ever looks at the fucking long term. They are still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and they can push this through. Dude, D&D is so tied in with internet streamers and YouTubers and shit now that they can't just pretend this will go away, because even though it doesn't really affect everything, because people can just change the name of D&D to something like we talked about, it's still in the end that there's millions of viewers that are going to see this. They're not going to forget, because these YouTube channels are going to have to change. They're going to notice the huge change in what they're saying on their content before this is pushed through. But fuck, god damn, this is hilarious. They're going to hope it forgets and that we forget and when we move on, which just shows, just like a YouTuber that gets called out for fucking a kid or being a degenerate, they're gonna hope everyone forgets. You know what? Wizards of the Coast are like Mini Lad, if anybody knows who that is. He gets called out for being a sick fuck, and then he tries to come back thinking everyone forgot. But people didn't forget, because the shit's on the internet. It doesn't go away. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. You gotta.
All right.
Fuck, that was pretty good. But I want to upload this ASAP. Thanks for listening, everyone. This is a quick Underdork / The Realm session. We're going to do more of these as news and interesting things come up. But peace out, everyone.
Later.